up, everybody? Wardog Live. It's back. It's been forever. And I have a special guest. I brought Tiny Dancer with me.
Hi.
And there she is, whispering already.
I'm not whispering.
There she goes. Now she sounds better. I'll tell you what. This goes to all the dads out there. It's frightening when you see your daughter on TV and she doesn't look like your daughter anymore. She looks like an older woman. And you know everybody on the internet's out there looking at her. This is going to be a fun show. Kids stress you out. That's how this works. So what's up, everybody? Say hi, Lily.
Hi.
I did this show because, for one, I wanted to get things rolling again, and two, because E3 just happened. E3, the big game conference that everyone's been talking about on the internet. If you follow games at all, I'm probably not going to tell you anything new, but hopefully I've dug up a couple of cool secrets that weren't absolutely broadcasted out there in the mainstream that maybe you haven't heard yet. I know there's a couple things that a lot of people were confused about that I think I found information on. So, yeah, I can't wait for all that. So, E3, big conference. Everything was blasted out all over the place. Some of it was really good. Some of it was just god-awful boring. I mean, I didn't even watch all of it just because, oh, wow.
You had better things to do.
I had better things to do, and God, was it kind of boring. Like, some of these guys, like the developers, they sit in their office for 5-6 years working on a game, and some of them are like truly excited to get out there and be like, this is my baby, I made this, please enjoy it. And then some of them just, they don't know how to talk in front of a crowd, and they're just like, I've been working on this for a very long time, and it's just like, oh God, just show the trailer.
Most of it was in Japanese.
Oh, there was, yes, on the Nintendo one, especially Nintendo and a little bit of Sony. A lot of it was in Japanese. And nothing is worse. We watched that one. There was an English translator that was American and another English translator that was Japanese. So, like, both of them were translating at different parts of it, and it didn't make no sense. It's like, we don't need one of those guys. One of those guys don't need to be there. So, yeah, it was a little weird. But everyone brought their A game. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. We're going to get to it. First thing I want to talk about is the biggest game for two of us in the room. I don't know. Well, for me anyway, John is probably completely against it. Fallout 76. Fallout 76 is a prequel to the Fallout series. It's getting set 25 years after the bomb dropped. It's like 50 or 60 years before the first Fallout game. So it's right when everything was really fresh and everything was freshly destroyed. The idea behind this one, though, is Fallout 76 is a completely online survival multiplayer game, which means every human in the game will be controlled by some sort of person playing the game out there. And now this is where the trickiness lies, because everyone was bugging out about, like, well, if there's no NPCs, how do you get missions? How do you communicate with other people? How do you do all this stuff? They forgot about one specific thing. Fallout loves their robots. So all the issues that we'll have with not being able to get missions or stuff like that, they got plenty of robots running around doing all that for you now. They just wanted to make it to where all the humans were played by playable characters. And so that made everyone think that the game was just going to be absolutely empty. But it's not. It's still going to be full of a whole bunch of robots and a whole bunch of monsters. And for the most part, it's going to play exactly like a Fallout game. The only thing that's getting really changed, like, it's still a shooter, it's still an exploration game, it still has quests, it still has missions, it still has things to do, it still has all the building mechanics from Fallout 4. So everything is going to look really good. John, can we bring up the trailer for Fallout 76? There it is. I knew he had it in his pocket.
So you can really tell when you're a Fallout fan, and you have coasters of Fallout.
I do have coasters of Fallout at home. I bought, how did I get that? I think I got that from Fallout New Vegas. I bought some goofy collector's edition of Fallout New Vegas, and I got coasters, and I got a couple of different things with it.
Did you get like a game?
Oh yeah, the game, of course, the game comes with it.
No, like a board game. I remember seeing
No,
something.
I got playing cards were Red Dead Redemption.
Oh.
Playing cards were Red Dead Redemption. I don't know. But yeah, so Fallout 76, it starts with you waking up in a vault 5 years after everyone else has left the vault. This is what the idea is. You got the whole Reclamation Day thing. So everyone had this big party. They had this big celebration, and then they all took off. And for some reason, you didn't leave until 5 years after they opened the door. And then you go out, and they're calling the map to be 4 times bigger than Fallout 4, I think they said. And Fallout 4 has got a good-sized map. It's a solid chunk of map. So to quadruple that is pretty impressive. But the reason they did that is because everyone's going to be building. Everyone's going to be running around the map. So they wanted to make sure that although they didn't want it to feel empty, they kind of want to make everything feel spread out. Now, so since this plays kind of like 7 Days to Die or an Ark or all those other survival games, I can't think of it. Rust is another one they keep referring it to. There's going to be a lot of building. And the building mechanics, it's not a block-based building mechanic like Minecraft and 7 Days to Die and all that. It's exactly like it was in Fallout 4. You bring up your walls, you bring up your floors, you stack it all up if you want. You can basically create whatever you want with the pieces they gave you. And in Fallout 4, there was a lot. So I imagine there's going to be even more in 76. But the issue that seems like everyone's having is, hold on just a second. Oh my God. I told you it's hard to talk through these things.
I know.
But so the idea is you build and you build and you build. But they don't have your basic server system that like 7 Days to Die is, where like you build something in this server, it stays that way, and when you come back every time, it's always there. The idea is that you're going to play, and you're going to play with other people, and you may bounce in and out of server to server because you never actually pick a server to play in. So what it does is, let's say you build a lot of stuff out there. You build your house and your fence and your truck with all your crap in it and everything. When you log out of the game scoops up everything you did and takes it with you.
What?
Yes, everything that you built gets scooped up. And let's say if I go and then I join a game with someone else, and when I enter that game with someone else, all my stuff is put back exactly the way I left it in the other game, but now it's a part of his world until I leave, and then it's all scooped up again.
That's confusing.
It is to a point, and I'm sure that I'm not explaining it very well, but that's how I was explained by Todd Howard, the guy who runs Bethesda. I never pronounce that right. Bethesda, thank you. I knew I was going to say it wrong. But yeah, but everyone was worried about, like, if I spend all this time building my crap, and then I log out of the game and it's just there. There's Todd Howard there. I'll tell you what, for all the bad presentations that were at E3, that guy's like a rock star. He's probably one of the more entertaining people to listen to.
Really?
Granted, the bar is really low, so he doesn't have real high to go, but he did do better than most.
Wait, you just like dissed everyone at E3.
I told you the E3 presentations were a little rough. But yeah, so when you build everything you're going to build, when you log out, they basically scoop it up, and when you go back in the game, they put it all back down exactly the way they had it. And the idea with Fallout is, like, if you're playing and you decide you don't want your house there anymore, though, just like the way they did in Fallout 4, you basically just pick it all up piece by piece. It goes into your stored inventory on your building mechanics, and then you just take it and you build it out again. And I remember we talked about this, and I said it looked like you just bought stuff with in-game currency instead of actually gaining the materials to make it. I think I was wrong there. I think you still have to gain the copper and the steel and the wood and the wire and all that stuff to make everything you want to make, just like Fallout 4. But there's a weird currency that you get for doing certain things. I'm not sure what that currency is used for yet. It's really weird. But other than that, I mean, I think it's going to be good. It's just like it's the same idea that we had for Skyrim with friends that didn't actually come to in Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online, it didn't feel like it was your world because it's an MMO. So, like, you go into a dungeon and you go to kill somebody, but somebody else beats you there, so you have to wait for him to kill him, and then you got to wait 30 seconds for the monster to respawn so you can take your turn and kill him. It's like being at an amusement park almost. It's like I'm waiting on this roller coaster to go back by so I can smack it with a sword, but first that guy's got to ride the roller coaster first.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, that doesn't sound fun.
That is every MMO.
Really?
I don't know if you've ever played MMOs.
I've
probably
never
not.
played an MMO. I play
That
Minecraft.
is-
That's
that
what
is-
I play.
Is exactly every MMO. So, but this wanted to play more like an online survival game. So yes, monsters will have to respawn after a while, but they won't respawn literally right in front of you at the place they're supposed to respawn. So, yeah. So I feel like it's going to be more co-op than what your normal MMO is. And you can play the whole game by yourself. If you want to play the game, you can play it by yourself. But I don't know if you can play it in a single player type of server like you can with Ark and 7 Days to Die and games like that. No matter when you sign up for it, you will have to play it with other people. You may not have to cooperate with them. You may have to worry about them shooting you, but you don't technically have to play it with other people.
Okay. I don't play Fallout, so this is like all going in and out.
I know. But when it comes out, I may buy 2 copies of it so me and you can play it together.
More stuff on our YouTube channel?
Yeah, see, there you go. More stuff on the YouTube channel, more stuff just to play. I finally got her to play Fortnite. That was a fun time.
That was a fun time. It was fun because we just had one person just coming up and giving me stuff, so I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I haven't played a lot of Fortnite, so it was funny because they're playing under my gamer tag. But they knew it was a new player because my level's not very high. But it was double as funny when Lily is actually a new player.
I got data friend in 10 minutes.
She did. But this guy, it's this same guy, I can't remember what his name, Luminary Heart or something like that.
Luminary Heart.
Yeah. He just kept coming up and throwing guns at us the whole time we played with him because he didn't think we knew what we were doing.
No.
It was actually pretty funny.
We didn't, though.
I knew what I was doing.
You knew what you were doing, but you barely play that game anymore.
It's because I have issues with those games.
You have issues.
I
You
have
don't play
issues
them.
with Battle Royale games. They're not as exciting to me as they are with everybody else. My thing with Battle Royale games, I guess we're skipping off all that for a minute. My issue with Battle Royale games, I've been playing since I've been off not doing the live show. I've played some PUBG. I played some I got Fallout on the brain. Fortnite. I want to say there was one other Battle Royale game that I tried. Maybe I'm getting confused with something else. But the issue with those games is, especially Fortnite's not as bad, but PUBG is horrible about it. It's not an action-based shooter. It's more stealthy, and you actually get a better payout when you hide somewhere and don't do anything. The only issue is that's boring. That's really boring, just finding like a house in the middle of nowhere, peeking out the window, waiting for somebody to walk up, and then nobody coming by for 20 minutes straight.
It's so boring. I don't have time. It's so boring, and I don't want to play it because it's boring.
It kind of is, and quit mocking me. So the things, I don't know, and that was another thing that got announced at E3. Fortnite is getting pumped over to the Switch, which is great. Now people can play it on their little handheld Switch device. It's going to get, I guess they said something about like 2 million people downloaded Fortnite the first day it was on Switch or something crazy like that. Like, so that's just,
so?
yeah, it's crazy how many people downloaded in the first day. But I mean, everybody loves Fortnite. And PUBG's on mobile now, and everyone's liking it there. I've watched people play it on mobile. I don't see how it works, which I don't like having.
Probably have to hold your phone sideways, and then the controls are on the side, like normal mobile games.
Yeah, like I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like how the joystick is just like a touch thing on the screen. I don't know why. It just I need the controller.
It'd probably be best with like a tablet or something.
I think when I watched people play it, were using it on a tablet, and that would be. But even then, it almost seemed too bulky to try to do that. Like
that's why a lot of people, when they actually do it, they place their phone or tablet down, like on a table or on like
some sort of prop.
Some sort of prop,
and
or
then just
yeah.
No, I
Kinda
can't
like
do
a
it.
computer.
Because that was the other thing. Skyrim has another version. There for a second, John was playing the trailer of the joke version of Skyrim being moved to Alexa.
God.
Like the Google Talk device. I can't. Yeah.
Alexa, or there is one called Google, and then people phone Siri.
Right.
But now they have Alexa.
Yeah, Alexa's just like the thing that
Google.
sits in the corner of your room and you scream at it all day long. Hey, Alexa!
Yeah, you have friends that do have that.
Yeah, I got a couple friends who have them. I haven't bothered to buy one yet. My internet's not good enough for that kind of crap.
We have very crappy internet. I think it was raining at some point in time today when we got home.
Oh, yeah.
And
it completely wiped out my internet for like a half hour. After the storm, not during the storm.
After the storm.
After the storm passed, for some reason, something lingered, and every time it wipes out my internet for a good half hour.
Which was weird.
That's that good quality country internet.
When you can't speak.
Okay, so now you got me all off track here. What else was there to talk about?
You're very much welcome.
Anything going on in chat?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
No.
Didn't think so. What else do we got here? You still...
That was a bit of me. Sorry.
It's fine.
I was bringing up the audio for Fallout.
Oh, okay. I got another one. John, find me the trailer for the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Resident Evil.
The Resident Evil 2, this was a complete surprise for me at E3. I was never... I mean, don't get me wrong...
Wait, is it a game or a movie?
It's a game. The movies are based on an old series of games.
Gameplay or trailer?
Trailer.
Gameplay trailer?
Sure.
Okay.
But Resident Evil 2, John, refresh my memory. What's the company that makes Resident Evil games?
Capcom?
Capcom, yes. He knows this stuff better than I do with companies. So Capcom has been like a machine churning out remake after remake after remaster of Resident Evil games. They've been doing it forever. Resident Evil 4 got pumped out on every system imaginable for like 4 generations straight. But sorry.
Was that from me?
No, that was Mom.
Oh.
Sorry, phone stuff. But yeah, so the one thing they went crazy with Resident Evil 4. Everyone loved Resident Evil 4. It was really great. Recently they did Resident Evil 1, a remaster, but they kept the classic tank controls. And so everyone was kind of weird about that because like the tank controls were horrible in Resident Evil. The fixed camera angles were horrible in Resident Evil. But then that's all we had to work with, so no one really... We didn't have anything to compare it to, so nobody complained. It was a great horror game, just with mechanics that never really made sense.
Excuse you.
Resident Evil 2 also had that issue, but it was somewhat of a better game because it had more replayability. There was...
Oh, it's a zombie game.
It's a
That's
zombie
why I don't.
game.
That's why I don't know what it is.
Oh, we are totally...
It's a zombie game.
We're totally playing this game when it comes
God.
out. But... They redid Resident Evil 2 because they had the same tank controls as before. Now they rebuilt the whole game from scratch to where it looks more like Resident Evil 4, the over-the-shoulder, more mobility, all that good stuff. It looks amazing. I can't wait to play Resident Evil 2.
This is what Dad's going to be playing for the next 2 weeks?
Whenever it comes out. Yeah, when it comes out. Oh, I'll
2
spend
2 months, 2 weeks.
I'll spend
Give
at least
it
a month
time.
on this game, yeah. I love the first Resident Evil 2 because it was really neat. You had 2 cops. Mm-hmm. Leon, and I don't remember the woman's name. And Michelle. I love how you just make one up. So you play the whole story as Leon, and as you play through as Leon, Michelle is doing stuff on the back or like in the background and affecting the story. After you beat the story as Leon, you can replay the whole game again, play as Michelle, and which is not her name. Play as Michelle, and it's neat because you get to see everything from her perspective and see all the stuff that Leon's doing. So you get to play the game twice as 2 different people, and it's almost a completely different experience. Not completely, but
I think you're mistaken.
No, I'm not. That was Resident Evil 2.
No.
Yeah, it was.
No.
Which one was it then? What was Resident Evil 2?
Resident Evil 2, you had the Leon character who played all the way through, but they had to separate out the second character's mission into Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. And that was...
Are you sure? I could have swore they had 2 different characters in Resident Evil 2, and you got to play as either one of them.
And this is why we do research, kids.
That's the first Resident Evil where you can play as the 2 different characters.
Yeah, and they had it in Resident Evil 2 also.
Was that like a zombie rat? Ew.
I don't think don't quote me on that, but I think the second playthrough was done through Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
See, I don't remember what Resident Evil 3 was at all, but I could have swore that you played both characters in Resident Evil 2 because it affected shit. And then once you kept unlocking stuff, then you get like the crazy submachine guns and stuff like that, and the infinite ammo, and you replayed it with all that stuff. I could have swore that was on Resident Evil 2 was the one that started out in the police station.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm almost positive there was 2 characters for Resident Evil 2.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I never played it. I don't know anything.
That game came out long before you were ever born.
Really?
Yes.
That's why I don't know what it is.
I got to see now what year
Resident
the
Evil?
original RE2 came out.
The female in Resident Evil 2, I believe, is the same one who's the lead character in Resident Evil. Crap. I can't remember the name of the game series that.
Resident Evil?
No. See, now I'm trying to look it up. Never mind.
Bloop. Resident Evil 2, known in Japan as Biohazard 2, is why do they call it Biohazard?
Because it's Japan.
Hold on, I got the wiki now.
The wiki.
We're gonna solve this. The player controls
Revelations.
Leon and Claire, who must escape Raccoon City after the citizens of the
Yes, Claire, but it's not 2 separate missions, I don't think.
Yes, it is. It says the player controls Leon and Claire.
Yeah, you kind of switch between the 2
I
in
would
the main campaign.
I could have swore you played as them the whole way through.
They're arguing.
I could have swore. Resident Evil 3 was Nemesis in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a long time before I was born.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, it was released in 1998.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That would have been like when one of my cousins were born.
Okay. Main difference
know.
from its predecessor are the branching paths, with each player character having unique storylines and obstacles. But I could have swore you had to play the whole game as one person.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, that's going to bug me now. Now I need to find me a PlayStation 1. Oh, that's funny.
Didn't you have a PlayStation at one point?
I did.
You gave it
Funny
away,
story. I had a couple PlayStations because, funny story, Tribble punched one once. I beat him at Street Fighter and he got mad and punched it. And then it took us like 3 months to get another PlayStation. And it sucked because I was right in the middle of Final Fantasy VII. And it took forever to get another PlayStation.
Final
so I could finish
Fantasy
it.
was big.
Final Fantasy has been big for 30-some years. Okay, but yes, Resident Evil 2 remake is going to be awesome. Behind the camera. I know you play as Leon. I don't know if you get to play as Claire, not Michelle.
Michelle. Michelle.
But yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think it's probably one of the biggest surprises of this year's E3. And it is going to be amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
That's my nickname for her. Instead of... Wait, what was her name already?
Her name is Claire. Claire Redfield.
Claire Redfield.
And
It's now
Leon-
Michelle Redfield.
Whatever the hell Leon's last name is.
Kennedy.
Kennedy. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so what else do we got going on from E3? I guess we could do Lily's game now.
Oh, no.
Okay, this is going to be fun. John, I need you to bring me up a trailer of Jump Force. Gameplay trailer.
Gameplay?
Gameplay, whatever,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, God.
This is
when you see me, like, fangirl 24/7.
my daughter here.
Is an anime freak.
What?
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, because the first picture that came up was anime.
It was.
It's anime.
It was Dragon Ball Z Goku guy or whatever.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. Let's just
Oh, the youth in their Dragon Ball Z.
She
I'm not a fan of Dragon Ball Z. I've actually never watched it. It's a different character.
she likes Naruto.
Naruto.
I knew I'd say that.
Naruto?
Wrong. Naruto.
Why does
What are you sure you're pronouncing it right?
Yes.
You've been correcting
That's
me for
how
6
people
months.
in the anime say it. So yes, I'm gonna.
Okay, so Jump Force. Explain Jump Force, Lily.
I don't know.
No, come on, explain it. I want to see you explain it. I've been talking.
know.
I'm going to take a drink of my water. You explain what Jump Force
I
is.
can't. You're putting me on the spot.
I know,
My
it's
face is
awesome.
red. It's just an anime game. That's all I can think of. Like the anime collides into like the Earth, like they're all crashing down from their universe. See, there's Naruto. And then
There's purple-headed albino.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is either.
I think that's from the Naruto.
No, that's
series.
from Dragon Ball.
It is?
I know he's from Dragon Ball. I just don't know who he is.
Okay.
Anyway, what this game is,
Naruto.
because
Fuck
she's
demon.
slipping a little bit. This is going to be a 3D brawler of a bunch of different anime characters all mashed into one game.
Including the 3 main characters: Naruto, one guy from One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z.
And there is a bit piece in the end of the main trailer that also shows...
It's like a teaser from Death Note.
Yes, the 2 characters from Death Note.
Dad!
Excuse me. And so, yeah, they wouldn't clue in who else was going to be in the game. They were trying to keep it a secret.
I'm hoping more
First.
characters from
Yeah,
Naruto.
well, it's going to be a lot more different anime characters from a lot more different cartoons.
I know, but there's more like bigger characters in Naruto than Naruto. There's
Oh, I'm sure they'll get a couple more characters from each franchise, but then they're supposed to add characters from other franchises too. See, that's the tricky part about it. Like, you want to represent a bunch of different franchises or a bunch of different animes, so you got to kind of pick and choose. Because, like Dragon Ball has got like 19 characters, and they're all as popular as the other one. So you kind of got to push like which ones really stand out. Goku, he really stands out. He's like kind of the main one.
He is the main character, I
But
think.
yeah, there's so many other ones that are so popular to those really die-hard Dragon Ball
Name
Z.
one.
I'm not die-hard Dragon Ball, so I
they're
don't.
obviously not all as popular.
I don't know who they are, but to the Dragon Ball fans,
See, there's the guy from One Piece.
they could think that Goku is overrated and want other people in there.
My cousin said Goku one day, and I was like, what? And then he had me look it up. I was like, oh, it's the Dragon Ball Z guy.
The
Well,
Dragon Ball Z guy.
That's how I know him.
You
It's
just
the
broke
Dragon
the hearts of many anime fans.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so it's a 3D brawler. It really looks good. Something about the idea of it is they all get flung into Earth, and they fight it out because, of course, that's what everything does in fighting games. They don't know who they are, so they think they have to
Just
settle
like
their
every
differences.
single anime character, they all have to be on top.
That's right. They all have to be number one, but then eventually they have to join forces to stop some sort of evil baddie. And so, yeah, there's your base. It's every fighting
like
game storyline.
Basic anime.
Yeah. Yeah, your basic anime storyline and your basic fighting game storyline. It does look really neat, though.
It looks like it's literally in the heart of either like New York or
This is a New
Tokyo.
York one, yeah. There was also like some sort of mountainside in the Arctic or something. Who knows?
Dakota.
This One Piece the character is really crazy looking. I've never seen that, but
One
it's
Piece?
kind of got me intrigued.
The only part of One Piece that I actually know is like it's like based on a boat. Like he's on a boat with all of his friends. That's all I know about it. That's literally all I know about
Well,
it.
that's about as bare bones as you can get.
Yeah.
But yeah, but the effects in this look really crazy right there. The crazy blue shot. I mean, all of it's just pretty. It's pretty as hell.
It's so pretty.
And as long as it has a decent amount of destruction in the environment, then, I mean, that'll get it for me. A decent amount of destruction in the environment, make the fights, a little over-exaggerated. That was one of their concerns is like, how do you balance everyone? Because certain characters in the lore are much more powerful than other characters. Mm-hmm. So how do you kind of balance it to make it even? But they've done that they did that with Injustice, or Superman would have beat the crap out of everybody.
True.
So, that's just something they figured out a long time ago. This is from the makers that did that last Dragon Ball Z fighting game. And that one was really popular too. So,
There's a lot of popular anime games that a lot of people play. I mean,
Yeah, but
Naruto has like 15.
yeah, they're all fighting games.
They
you
are.
can't get one that actually has like a single player story element to it.
Ow!
Way to go.
I hit my elbow.
But yeah, there you go, fighter fans.
Anime
Jump
fans?
Force. That's another thing. I don't know where they got the Jump Force name from.
Jump Force is... I have no idea.
I didn't know maybe if you knew.
And animes, like the games, like Naruto, his games, like... I'm doing like a whole bunch of hand movements, but his games are like... One of them is like a free roaming game with a storyline where you have like...
Oh, it's not just a basic fighting game?
There is fighting in it,
Well, of course
but
there's
it's like...
fighting in it, but not like one-on-one fighting?
No.
Okay. All right, well, maybe he did
more
get
of
a
a
regular game.
Storyline. I can't remember even what it's called. It's like Naruto Shippuden something. I don't know.
What was that? Naruto's Shubuten? Is that what you said?
Shippuden.
Shabuten. Shoes and boots, people.
Shoes and boots.
Naruto's shoes and boots. On sale now. But yeah,
That's gonna bug me. How do you pronounce that?
I have no idea. Let's see here. What else do we got? Let's buzz through a couple of these. Doom Eternal. Doom got a new game. Doom has always been kind of like a underground claustrophobic first-person shooter where the further down you go, the closer to hell you get. Well, now they've straight up went hell on earth. So for at least that right there, it's going to make the game feel more open and not so claustrophobic, which actually would help me a lot because that's one thing I never really liked about the Doom games is just it's just cramped and dark and you can't see nothing. And now look at that. I mean,
That
hell
looks
on
pretty.
earth has never looked so cool.
That does look really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you're out in the open. You got your demons and your tentacle monsters.
There's
Yeah,
what? That's like an octopus.
Yeah, I
but
mean-
with spikes instead of suction cups.
that's the cool part about Doom. Like, none of their monsters have to make sense. They're just all weird
It's like
hell creatures.
It was literally like an octopus with claws, and instead of
Suction
I can't say it.
suction cups.
Suction cups. It's spikes.
There you go. So it's like an octopus and a scorpion.
Yeah,
There you go.
Octoscorpio.
Octoscorpion. But yeah, it looks really neat. I didn't care much for the last Doom game. I can't remember what it was. But it was basically just one of those, I was having fun with it, and then it had this ridiculously hard puzzle that I spent 2 hours on and never did figure out, and I just kind of quit on the game. But yeah. What else do I got?
No.
Oh, I want to talk a little bit about Death Stranding.
What?
Death Stranding is a game that they've been talking about for 2 years, and they've been pumping out nothing but goofy cinematic trailers that really explain nothing about the game. They finally pumped out a little bit of gameplay, just the smallest smidgen. There you go. There's the baby butt, and then the baby, and the baby technically is living inside of Norman Reedus, I guess.
Who?
Daryl from Walking Dead. Yeah,
Wait, he's a male. How is that possible?
It's something in the lore of this. I don't think he actually created it, but I think in a weird way he's storing the baby inside of it.
How? That's not possible.
I don't know. It's something weird with lore because there's another shot of him carrying it's basically a newborn baby or a very grown-up baby fetus.
His sister?
No, baby fetus.
Baby fetus?
In this
fetus.
glass jar filled with liquid.
A jar?
Yeah, he's got it strapped to his chest. You'll see it here in a second. But the baby itself is actually conscious and actually looking out of the glass to see what's going on. But it literally, it's not big enough to be a newborn. It looked exactly like kind of the baby that was inside of him.
Like an embryo?
Not an embryo as much as just like an unborn baby.
So a fetus.
Yes, like an 8-month-old unborn baby.
So a fetus.
Kind of, yes.
I just went through a whole science chapter on this. I do. You're bringing back memories I don't want.
But here's my issue right here. If everyone's paying attention to the screen,
We're paying?
you see him walking.
Is that a robot?
And you see him walk. No, that's Norman Reedus. From what I've gathered of this,
the thing that was following him. That
oh
looked like
yes, that's a robot. Yes, it's a robot.
This is not going along with the Walking Dead storyline.
It's not. It didn't have anything to do with Walking Dead.
But why does it have Daryl in it?
Because he's an actor. He does different things besides Walking Dead.
You said Daryl. I'm like, what?
I told you Daryl because I wanted you to know who Norman Reedus was.
Oh.
Norman Reedus is his name. Sorry, we're getting a little off here.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so there. Now you can really tell it's Norman Reedus. He looks exactly like Daryl except for shorter hair. Yeah, there he is carrying a full body. I'm not sure what he's doing with it. But from what I caught from the trailers and stuff, Norman Reedus plays some sort of delivery man that's stuck delivering God knows what to God knows who. And while he's doing this, he has to worry about some weird ghostly figures that can literally suck the life out of you by touch, like turn you into an old man and kill you within 30 seconds.
This is when paranormal stuff gets real.
Yeah. But the issue about it is with this gameplay trailer, all it shows is him walking. It's just walking.
That's probably most of what it is him walking or doing something.
And that's where this game is going to ruin it for me, which granted I don't own a PlayStation, so I may not get to play it. But I mean, they have been portraying the weirdest game in the world for 2 years straight. And now they're going to show it to me as a walking simulator. It's just going to be Norman Reedus walking across crazy terrains. I mean, you got to have something else in there. It looks, I mean, granted, he does have a gun, but he's fighting off crazy ghost things that he can't really interact with. They can affect him, but he can't affect anyone else. So it's just,
It also keeps going back to the little hand drawing.
Yeah.
The drawing on his hand.
Yeah, that's, this whole game is shrouded in mystery. And this trailer really didn't help any. If anything, it raised more questions. Like, what are you actually going to be doing as gameplay in this game?
I'm more concerned on what that hand, the little tattoo on his hand was.
Maybe it's a representation of the weird baby that's living inside of him.
Maybe? I don't know. This game was weird. You find the weirdest games.
Hey, this game has been the most talked about game for over a year. It's a freaking, I can't remember the Japanese guy's name, Hideo. Finish it for me, John.
Hideo Kojima.
There you go.
Hideo Kojima.
He's a very famous game maker over there in Japan.
There's
Hideo Kojima.
What?
He just said it twice. I think you mispronounced it. So
Hideo Kojima.
there you go.
Hideo. It's Hideo Kojima.
Hideo.
Hideo.
Anyway,
Hideo Kojima. Okay.
but yeah, so he's a really great game maker, and
No, he isn't.
He is. It's not his fault. Kajami screwed him.
Kajami.
Kajami?
Well, how am I saying that wrong now?
It's Konami.
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 I got it.
Kajami would have been the name if he would have taken over.
Exactly. But yeah, Konami screwed him. That's a whole other story for a whole other time.
This is
I don't know
probably
enough
one
about
of the
it to talk
reasons why
about it.
Dad either doesn't watch anime or doesn't read mangas because he can't pronounce the name of the
No, I
creator.
That's funny. But yeah, this game is still very intriguing, but if it turns to where it's mostly just walking, then it's going to have a serious problem. A very serious
I don't
problem.
think it'll be just walking.
I hope not. But it hasn't shown any combat whatsoever. The walking is the first gameplay it's actually showed. The rest of it's just been cinematic trailers.
There's probably like a huge storyline behind it that it's just not showing.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, of course it's not going to show all of it. That's how you keep people intrigued. But, I mean, there's been teaser after teaser about this game. It's just really driving people nuts.
Give me your hand and flesh.
Yes. Hold on. I think this is the scene with the baby in the...
If it
in the
shows a
glass
baby
thing.
in a glass jar, I'm going to be so mad.
Because, yeah, he's getting ready to sneak out, but he thinks he's stuck because he knows the monsters are around him. And so he's chilling for a second. Come on. Yeah, this game is a little slow.
A little? I mean, what is that?
Is that the baby?
Oh, God.
Yeah,
That's the fetus.
that's
a
the baby,
fetus.
yeah.
That's a fetus.
There he is. There's the little guy. And now here's the little flashy robot thing that helps him see the ghosts, monster things.
It's like
And once
a
he gets
ghost
close to the-
detector.
Yeah.
It's like...
And once he gets close
what
to
are
the
those
door, you'll
called?
see them. There they are.
Jesus.
They're all fetuses too.
Yeah.
They do
was
kind of
like-
look like they all have umbilical cords now that you say that,
Yeah.
don't they? Yeah, but see, look, that baby is conscious. He knows what's going on.
I don't
He
like
may
it.
still be in some...
If that baby is going to be in that jar the whole entire time, I'm going to be like, no.
Well, I think that's kind of the point of the game is you delivering these babies.
So basically,
I think that's the point of the game. They also said something about, like, they made a remark about
it's
him
like-
being careful. And it's like, it's okay if you die because you'll come back.
but the
But
baby.
your cargo will get lost to something or something like that. So it almost makes you wonder if maybe they're breaking the fourth wall with the video game thing, or if literally the baby inside of him
But look,
is
it
like,
literally looks like an umbilical cord or like chains around them. Like,
Yeah.
why?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And they've showed other monsters that were literally like 80 feet tall, like storming off in the distance
This
too.
is when Slender Man comes into play.
Oh, I don't think that'll happen, but
You never know. They made a movie. They made a movie about Slender Man.
Well, that's-
you never know if they'll
that's
put him
no
in a
surprise.
game. They have a game literally based around him that we tried playing. We lost all the footage, which was so sad.
we didn't lose the footage. It didn't have no sound because somebody shut the mic off.
I didn't shut the mic off.
So I don't know who did it, but somebody did. Something
Did Mom
happened.
walk in and shut off the mic because she didn't know what was
it's
happening?
probably just they just didn't record. I don't know. Let's not worry about it. Someday we'll go back to playing that game again.
Someday, but I'm too much of a wuss to go back. And honestly, we could honestly play it any time, considering my sister is never home anymore. Because that
That's
was
true.
our main problem. Was Addie was always home.
Well, we could. But yeah, we'll get to it eventually.
Said her
A funny thing about, let's talk Star Wars for a second. A funny thing about the Star Wars stuff, somebody announced a new Star Wars game called Jedi Fallen Order. It's supposed to be the big single player thing. It literally, don't bother looking it up because it's not there.
it's not there.
It was literally announced by a guy, I'm guessing he was a developer, in a crowd of people standing there watching the show, and some chick walked up to him and was like, hey, you work for blah, blah, blah. What's the story on the next Star Wars game? And he's like, well, it's called Jedi Fallen Order. And then that was it. It was literally like, I'm going to pick a guy out of a crowd, hope to God he works for somebody, and be like, hey, do you know what the next Star Wars game is?
And it's like a guessing game, and they guessed right.
Oh, I'm sure she knew who they were looking for, but it was weird how they just like randomly found the guy in the crowd and be like, hey, you work for this guy. What's the next Star Wars game?
So basically, they're trying to keep it as secret as possible?
That's because they're not anywhere close to having it done yet.
Oh.
But they basically must have okayed them giving him the title out. But yeah, it was really weird. Just like stumble up to the guy, ask him a question. He knows it, but
that just seems like really awkward. Like,
yeah,
why
it
would
wasn't
you do
part
that?
of the presentation. It was just like this weird little thing that happened, and it didn't make any sense whatsoever. And then other Star Wars news, they're pumping out more Clone Wars stuff for Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is a game everyone's pretty much already given up on after the whole loot box controversy.
You make me sad, Jake.
Why?
It's like they just found some guy in the crowd.
They did. It was really weird.
The guy they found was Vince Zampella.
Well, what was he doing just standing in the crowd? Why wasn't he up on stage presenting
Because
something?
it was probably planted.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was
You have
to a
no
point.
idea who Vince Zampella is, do you?
No, I don't.
Of course you don't.
I don't either.
I'm guessing someone who works at EA.
I don't. Yeah, I imagine. Yeah,
Because EA owns everything Star Wars now because of Disney.
he is the head
Disney.
of Respawn Entertainment.
Really?
Ring a bell.
I know the name Respawn. I couldn't tell you one game they made.
How about Infinity Ward? Is that ring a bell?
Oh,
Infinity War?
is that the one that they formed together after Infinity War took a crap?
After
Infinity Ward?
Vince
Ward?
Zampella and his partner left Infinity Ward to start Respawn. Respawn was the company responsible for Titanfall.
Okay, yeah. All right.
I've heard of
Gotcha.
Titanfall.
Yeah.
So if they're behind this, then this is probably going to be a good game.
It is, and the fact that it's actually going to be a single-player, full-on narrative story, I'm very intrigued by that. No more multiplayer shooters with loot boxes and all sorts of other crap that they'll have to yank out 3 months after its release, so it doesn't have the fallout that this Star Wars Battlefront had.
We got talking about a whole bunch of names, and I completely forgot about the actual game we were talking about.
But yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 2, if you're still playing it, it's going to have a bunch of Clone Wars downloadable stuff.
Oh, that game.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the Star Wars first-person shooter that made a whole bunch of noise about crap loot boxes.
Didn't it make like a lot of people mad because they started taking out some of the loot boxes?
No, it made people mad they put loot boxes in there in the first place and trapped the game behind all these loot boxes and stuff like that. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, speaking of loot boxes, Red Dead Redemption 2 got announced, and it's coming out. It'll be out, I think it's one of the big games to come out on like March 22nd or February 22nd. There's like 3 big games coming out in February 22nd next year. And I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of them. But there is a thing that I cannot believe they did that is going to irritate a lot of people.
What did they do?
They have your regular edition game, and then your special edition game, and then your ultimate edition game. And now with these special edition and ultimate editions, there's always goofy stuff that you get with them that's extra. Like maybe you'll get extra skins for the game, or you'll get in-game currency, or you'll get coasters like I got for Fallout New Vegas and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So basically like a whole bunch of merch.
Yes, a whole bunch of merchandise. The issue is here, and I'm surprised that they were dumb enough to do this. They actually locked away 2 side missions that are in the game that you can only play if you get the ultimate or the special edition.
I'm so confused, but what?
Okay, this game is a big, long game. It's got a big, long storyline, and there's tons of side missions. They locked away 2 side missions that you only get access to if you spend the extra money to special editions or the ultimate editions.
Okay, so basically, they're finding more ways for people to spend their money on a game that's worth basically nothing.
But basically, yeah, it's probably an hour's worth more of gameplay in these 2 missions, I would guess.
So,
And people are going to be mad because they want to be able to play the full game when buying the full game.
well, yeah, because you don't want to have to spend extra money to get, what, side stories?
Yes, basically.
Why would you do that?
This is how they decided they
That's
wanted to sell.
stupid.
And that's weird because Rockstar usually don't make those kind of mistakes. And this one is a really weird one.
Wait, so it's side stories and what else?
The main thing that they're hiding behind it is side missions. But there's
So-
only 2. But it'll be one of those things where, like, it'll affect if you're an achievement hunter, if you love getting all the achievement scores or trophies in a game, it'll affect that because you won't be able to complete all the missions because you won't have access to all the missions because they're hidden behind a paywall.
Watch, just because they want the money, they'll put the missions up for $20 each.
I don't think they'll be that expensive, but yeah, after the game
You
is
never
released,
know.
if
Games
there is
these
a pretty
days-
bad explosion of fury behind it, they may have to put those missions out for DLC or something, some sort of extra thing. But it's just sad that they did that because we've spent all the time getting rid of loot boxes and all this time getting rid of microtransactions.
And now they're putting in side missions that are worth money.
Yeah,
money
now-
people work for.
Now they're straight up just locking side content away in special editions. It's just like the new way for them to
Get extra
crazy.
money?
Yeah, get crazy and start screwing people over.
That's so stupid.
I didn't like it either. But I'll probably still buy Red Dead Redemption 2 because Red Dead Redemption was awesome.
Who thinks of that? That's my question, is who actually thinks to put side missions up for money?
People who want to make money off the game.
So basically stupid people.
The publishers, the publishers. They figure we can make money by... Because there's been a huge controversy lately if they should raise the price of video games from the basic AAA $60 price tag. Because everything in the world gets infected by inflation. Video games have been $60 a pop for a really, really long time.
That's because the internet has literally taken over the world. Because my sister, for example, is on her phone talking to her boyfriend and her friends.
What does this have to do with the
24/7.
price of games?
It's basically explaining on how the internet has taken over the world. No one's sitting down reading a book. You and Mom try to get me to read books all the time. I never read them. I don't care for them.
I'm still not sure what this has to do with the price of games.
I don't know either.
Anyway, after she got done with her little rant there, the price of games have been stuck at a $60 price tag for a really long time. The issue is that people are getting a lot more playtime out of these games than what we used to. Before, you get a good couple of months, 60, 70 hours out of a game, and then that would be it, and you never touched it again. Now people are getting 100, 150 hours of single-player gameplay, 300 or 400 hours of multiplayer gameplay like death matches and battle royales. People are really playing the crap out of these games. And
Because that's the only thing they have to do.
exactly. But the amount of time that people get out of these games and the amount of time that publishers put in these games to get them created,
They think there should be more money into it.
yes, people think that certain people think that these games should be worth more money depending on how much content is in the game. I mean, games like Skyrim, Grand Theft Auto, all those big The Witcher games were all really long RPGs.
The Witcher?
The Witcher is a game series you know nothing about.
Okay.
But these games, everyone thinks that since they have so much replayability or just a lengthy story to them, a replayability and multiplayer, whatever it is, that they should be worth more because people are getting more out of them. And that is a weird discussion, but it's also one of those things like if you were to judge a game, judge and price a game on how much it's worth by how much content is in it, like who judges? Who is the one that judges how much a game should cost by how much content they think is in a game?
The creator.
That's if it was just the creator of the game, every game would be $15 a piece because creators want their stuff played. The people it'd be the publishers, the people who are making most of the money off of it. They're the ones that would have to decide what the game is worth, and a lot of people don't trust publishers to do that.
Yeah, true.
So it's one of those weird. It's a tightrope thing. Like, do we keep the $60 price tag, but then have ultimate editions and special editions that cost more, that have more content with the game, possibly playable content, that's where everything starts to get a little hesitant. Nobody really wants to make that jump, except for obviously Red Dead Redemption.
You forgot the name.
I'm talking.
You were about ready to say Resident Evil.
I almost said Resident Evil, yeah. But yeah, so it's like, where do you draw the line to where is it just a $60 game, or is it worth more than that?
There is no line.
Eventually there's going to have to be. With the way everything's going, like the graphics are getting better, everything's pushing into 4K and ultra high def and this and that and the other, and it takes time to do this. It takes time to build these games. As much as I hate to say it, eventually I would see a price jump on video games.
There probably will be, because sooner or later it's going to go from $60 to $70 and keep going up until they just can't get it anymore because people don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on games.
And see, that's the issue, is how far do you go until there literally is some sort of like drought of people spending money on games because games have gotten too expensive. And then the industry itself loses out on money.
It's either that or they just drop in the price. I mean, that's what a lot of people do, is drop the price.
Well, that's where indie games come in, and you get certain games that, sure, that maybe they're only 6 or 7 hours worth of play, but you also only spent like $5 on it. You got your enjoyment out of it. It wasn't anything crazy. Some of them literally look like old Nintendo games, but at the same time, it's there. I mean, you got to play it. You got your enjoyment out of it. You threw your $5 at it, and everything's good to go. But yeah, so that has been something I've noticed been coming up a lot. I mean, the price of video games, should they raise? Should they stay the same?
They should stay the same, because even right now, when you told me that Sea of Thieves was $60, that blew my mind, because who would spend $60 on a game?
Everyone. That is the regular price for video games.
Why?
That's just how it works. That's the rule. It's been, how long have games been $60 pop, Plunkett? Since PlayStation 1, probably, at least, if not Sega, and I don't know. I wasn't buying my own Sega game, so I don't remember.
They've been $60 for a while.
Yeah, at least PlayStation 1.
I'd say PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2, you think?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I know PlayStation 1 was actually, no, PlayStation 2 was probably when I started buying my own games. I had a PlayStation 1 as a teenager. I don't remember buying any of my own games back then. I can't remember. But yeah. So yeah, there you're talking since, for the last 20 years, they've been locked at a certain price. It's almost time for inflation to catch up to video games, and they will raise the price. And then that'll be a huge argument on who decides how much they're worth.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a hell
What's
of a,
next?
That was a hell of a rant, wasn't it? Let's buzz through a couple other things here. Assassin's Creed has a new game called Odyssey. The Assassin's Creed games, as most people know besides Lily, they've always been these very strict stealth games. You're an assassin. You're supposed to be sneaking around. You don't want basically anyone to know who you are or what you're doing.
Assassin in the title.
Exactly. Assassin's Creed Odyssey almost feels from the trailer that I watched, it's moving away from the stealthiness because it's set in Sparta. And during all the big war times, yeah, exactly. This is Sparta. And it's almost like you're moving away from the assassin part and just learning how to become a warrior to help, defend Sparta with whatever's going on.
You know what that reminds me of? The game God of War.
A little bit, yeah.
Just like the feel and the look of it just kind of reminds me of God of War.
But I mean, it just looks like, for one, who's stealthy in a Roman outfit? There's no way to sneak around in that thing.
Probably not. You probably got a lot of like bells on it or something.
But yeah, well, you don't have bells. Have you ever seen a warrior wearing bells?
No.
Did you say, you really did say bells, didn't you?
Because I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
You're talking about your armor.
Yeah, the armor
banging together and making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, here you see one of the big battles. Like there's no stealth in driving a boat through another boat. There's no stealth in the middle of a war going to town. Yeah.
There's no stealth riding a horse.
Yeah, not a whole lot of stealth riding a horse too. But you still got your jumping off the top of buildings thing. And that almost looked like superpower. Like he had some sort of crazy abilities.
Yeah.
It almost makes you wonder if they're not going to try to throw some crazy godlike powers in the game.
Who knows?
So yeah,
Games these
Assassin's
days
Creed
go
going a
off
little bit off
completely.
of their normal area, but at the same time, maybe it'll make the game more interesting.
I think
Because
that's
I got
what
bored of.
most games do these days is go off.
Yeah, they try to push themselves and go into new territory. But yeah, and that would actually help with this game because I've never been a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I tried playing 3, and I wanted to play Black Flag, and I never have.
A lot of the boys in my old class would.
Oh yeah, I mean Assassin's
Play.
Creed's hugely popular. They've been pumping out games for like 7 or 8 years now. Excuse me.
Excuse you.
Oh, that coffee is destroying me. And
That's why you don't
they
drink
pump.
coffee.
They're one of those where they pump a game out every year, and I always been kind of weird about that. Battlefield 5. There's a new Battlefield coming out, and
Of course there is.
when I bought Battlefield 4, because John asked me to, I screwed around and I bought the Super Ultimate Edition with all the downloadable content, and it cost me $100.
Dad.
It did. I spent $100 on Battlefield 4, and I think me and Plunkett played it for about 2 months. And yeah, and I didn't ever play half the DLC didn't work. Like I had to delete it and re-download it to get it to do anything. And the other downloadable content, like nobody was playing it. It was one of their.
Is that why our internet was kind of sucking there for a while?
Oh, who knows? I'm downloading stuff all the time. So every time I
True.
download something, our internet sucks. But so there was a chunk of downloadable content I never got to play because it didn't work right. Another chunk of downloadable content I didn't play because nobody else online was playing it. So, I mean, like, there was a bunch of stuff that I paid for that I didn't really get any use out of. And I bought it. It was my decision. It's, you know.
That was your very stupid decision, that's
But
for sure.
the reason I bring all that up, the reason I have to go down memory lane with Battlefield 4 is because
the
Battlefield 5 has
Hello.
no DLC that you have to pay for and no season pass. Everything that they're going to release for that game is going to be absolutely free with the purchase of the game, which for Battlefield is a huge thing because they have been just about as religious about their season passes as Call of Duty has. So the fact that they're not charging for any extra content or any season passes is one of the greatest things ever. Thank you, Battlefield, for finally getting the clue because this game does look freaking crazy.
It does.
It does. The big hoopla about this
Queen.
game was that everyone got mad because they stuck women in it and they stuck black people in it.
Oh, you told me about this.
Because women and
Please.
black people technically weren't allowed to be in the fighting of World War II where black people were, but women weren't.
They're
and-
bringing it more into 2018.
Yeah, they're just making everything inclusive. Everyone gets a chance to shoot people. So
I don't get why it's so bad that there's women in there.
it's not. It's a video game. It doesn't have to be uber realistic.
No.
It just needs to be fun. And like she's got a robot hand. They're complaining about she's a robot, but they're not complaining about the fact she's got a robot hand. They didn't have that technology in World War II.
No.
But
I
either
don't-
way, that game looks amazing, and it'll be. I didn't buy Battlefield 1. I didn't buy Battlefield Hardline, but I will buy Battlefield 5. It looks really, really good.
I think that's a woman on the.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
Picture,
whatever.
too.
Oh, trust me, it was a huge thing. What else do I have to talk about? Wolfenstein's getting another game, and it's going to be a co-op shooter. Wolfenstein Youngblood. It's one of those franchises that like it hasn't made a whole lot of noise, but at the same time, it's still doing pretty. It's pretty well, pretty popular.
What is Wolfenstein?
It's a first-person shooter in a world where, what if the Nazis won World War II, and then we took 40 years to try to fight back against them.
the
basically
what
is
ifs
what it
that
is.
come in life.
Huh?
The what ifs that come in life.
Exactly, yeah. So, but that's kind of a cool idea because they're going in the future and you're playing as these twins who are the daughters of the main character from the other games. And so it's getting a little co-op shooter thing in there.
You would twin
Everyone
now.
was, yeah, everyone was real excited about that. What else? I talked about Red Dead Redemption, Fallout we covered.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I played a shitty game called The Technomancer, and it was absolutely horrible.
What
you see it on
was-
there. It's on the Game Pass. Do not bother playing it.
Wait, what was Technomancer?
It was some game I played for like 3 hours and instantly uninstalled it from my Xbox. It was bad.
You did?
Yes, it was that bad.
Well, What was it? Which one? Because
You never watched me play it. I played it for like an afternoon while you were hiding upstairs. You never seen a bit of gameplay about
I
it.
hide upstairs a lot.
Just forget about it because it wasn't worth watching.
Now I'm curious on what Technomancer is.
It's bad. I'll show you some video of it later.
Okay.
It's just that bad. Don't worry about it. Okay. What else? I'm almost out of stuff here.
Oh God. This never happens.
No, I've got something in here. Oh, State of Decay 2 came out. It's on the Game Pass.
So many different ads on YouTube that just makes me mad now.
About
like
State of Decay 2?
They're not even like normal like ads for State of Decay, like gameplay ads. They're literally just someone sitting there, like an actual person or.
Oh, so you're getting more Game Pass trailers than you are State of Decay trailers. So.
Yeah, because then at the end of the trailer, it just put State of Decay 2.
Yeah.
Like, what?
State of Decay 2 came out. It's free on the Game Pass. I still haven't tried to download it and play it because everything I read about it in the reviews and stuff said that it's super, super buggy. It's just very sloppily put together. Everything gets all crazy. None of it runs smoothly. So it's another one of those games, just like Sea of Thieves, where like it will be a good game after they take 3 or 4 months of patching it and adding stuff to it to make it run
This is a good game. Heck, they got the Megalodon in there. That's
now,
cool.
But it didn't get in there until like what, 3-4 months after it was released.
They also got the Kraken.
They got the Kraken in there.
Got the Kraken.
But still, like you have to go to a certain place to find him. It's not like he's all over the place.
No.
But yeah, and as for Xbox exclusive, Sea of Thieves and State of Decay, they were both really good ideas that just didn't take off. Sea of Thieves, big open world, kind of nothing to do. I mean, sailing is the majority of it, and it's an empty sea. It really, really is.
Well, you're doing missions, and we've seen other boats before.
We have, but they're few and far between. I've probably seen more boats playing by myself than I've seen boats when me and you were playing together.
You keep spitting like
I'm sorry.
so much. Like one time it got on my arm. Like that was gross.
Sorry about that. But yeah, so, and then State of Decay, a buggy mess. I guess the multiplayer, it runs pretty smoothly, but it could be better. It's just, I don't know. Like Xbox just can't seem to get that good exclusive that they need. The other big one was Crackdown 3. It's delayed again. It's delayed up into 2019, sometime early 2019. Crackdown 5 or Crackdown 3 is a game that they've literally been talking about for 5 years. And for 5 years straight, they've been delaying it every year. We first heard about it when we were still doing Next Gen Jerks, me and John. That was how long ago that was. It was ridiculous.
That was a year ago, wasn't it?
No. That was a couple years ago. That was when John still had all this stuff upstairs. Yeah, that was in between one of the Jerkcast hiatuses.
Jerkcast. You guys never do Jerkcast anymore.
I can. I work weekends now. So that's what that means.
You can?
I can't because I work weekends now.
You said can.
I can't is what I said. Anyway. What else do I got?
What do we got? What do we got?
I don't really care about that. Nintendo Labo came out finally.
What?
Labo, the cardboard controller.
Oh, that just seems stupid because you're just going to tear it up.
Yeah, it's going to fall apart real quick. And there was all just a bunch of mini games for it. And it's like $70 for a large stack of cardboard. Cardboard. Yes, cardboard that you have to build into little things and put it together yourself. Certain things need like rubber bands for pulley systems and stuff. It didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. And I don't know how well it did, but I wasn't really enthused with it.
My question is, why would you spend $70? Because we were literally in Walmart the other day, and it had like a big package like full of like all the toys and stuff.
Right. It had the piano and the race car and the fishing pole and all that stuff.
Probably had a guitar or two.
I don't think it had a guitar.
I think it did. Like a small little ukulele or something. I don't know.
It might have been. I don't know.
But that was like $70 for cardboard and a couple pieces and maybe some rubber bands.
That's
that
Nintendo
you would
for
find for maybe $1.
The only good thing about it is that at least it's not like the Wii that had the plastic wheel and the plastic tennis racket and all that stuff that you just clip the Wii remote into.
And that was like
at least
$20.
when you're done with this stuff, you can throw it away instead of having all these plastic fake pieces of nonsense laying around your house.
But that's also like buying those separate. It's probably like $10.
Oh no, they were. Some of them were $20 to $30.
$20?
Yeah,
really? For a piece of cardboard? Why?
No, not the cardboard. I'm talking about the plastic pieces for the Wii.
Oh.
I want to say the steering wheel for the Wii to play like Mario Kart was like a $50 thing, And it didn't even come with the game. It just was the plastic steering wheel.
Like separate?
Yes.
Why?
Because
Why?
that's
Just why?
that's how that stuff works.
People are stupid. People these days spend their money on so much stupid crap that it's not even funny anymore.
Let's see here. Far Cry 5. Let's talk about Far Cry 5 for a second.
Far Cry. Don't you have Far Cry like the normal?
Me and you played Far Cry. We played some of the created
We
levels.
did?
The created levels?
Oh yeah, where it had the stacks and stuff.
Yeah, had the
Okay.
stacks from Ready Player One.
And then I had my huge fangirling moment at the beginning.
Yeah,
That was-
because you loved Ready Player One. I didn't tell you what it was. The video's on our channel if you want to watch it. But yeah, so Far Cry 5 is a wonderful game. It is packed full of stuff to do. It's not empty
kind of like a
some of those
first-person shooter.
It's exactly a first-person shooter, not kind of. But it's open world. It's actually full of stuff to do, unlike certain open world games that are kind of empty.
I found it funny because I lasted longer than Dad.
Yeah, we were playing some of the created levels. Far Cry has an arcade mode where you get to create levels. Far Cry 3 had it. I think Far Cry 4 might have had it, but the issue is with that is that not a lot of people are creating stuff, and I'll get online and I'll look for created maps, and they'll all be for Far Cry on PC, and nobody's creating stuff for the Xbox, which is a big pain in the butt. It really irritates crap on me when I see something really cool, like someone recreated like the whole Jurassic Park map.
Really?
Yes, but they did it on the PC version, so you can't play it on the Xbox version.
Well, why would they do that?
Because there's different versions of the game, and they're not cross-compatible with each other.
I wish they were cross-compatible.
Which
Because
that-
I want to play in the Jurassic Park world. You see a dinosaur out of nowhere, and you're like, what?
I don't think
the
they could actually put dinosaurs in there, but
They could build random dinosaurs.
well,
You
they
wanna
wouldn't be
build a
able to.
dinosaur?
They wouldn't be able
Build
to
a dinosaur.
move.
No, but they're
They'd
still
just be
there.
big dinosaur statues made out of junk.
You got a big T-Rex with like the tiny little arms. It's like
But yeah, Far Cry 5. It's been a lot of fun. They have a lot of crazy stuff going on in that game.
I think that the Far Cry is just fun in general.
Oh yeah, it is. It's really great. And the better the people get at creating maps for that game, the better it'll get.
This is when like builders from like games like Minecraft or something come in handy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who will spend a lot of time on maps, and then I've played some on the arcade that somebody just spent like 15 minutes. I thought the driving maps were going to be really cool. I was looking for like death race modes and stuff. Those are probably the worst maps I played. They were not put together very well at all. I just didn't have any fun with it whatsoever. Those were probably the worst maps. But yeah, Far Cry, if you're thinking about it, totally go out and buy it.
Yeah,
And I
it's a good game. I can approve.
I think we're pretty much out of stuff to talk about.
Really?
Yep. Let me look at my Twitter real quick and see if we got everything from there.
Did we get the Ghost one? What was it called?
Yeah, there's PlayStation came out with a game
Called
Ghost Giant.
Ghost Giant. That's what it is.
And it's probably the best looking VR game I've seen yet. I will give it that.
In Dad's opinion, there's a lot of good VR games out there.
Not really. There's good VR experiences that you can like kind of sit through and watch, but not things that you can really play. They haven't really got the
Yeah, they have.
Like
They've
what?
gotten games. Oh, what are they called? These YouTubers that I watch, I think me and Addie watch them sometimes, and they either have a computer or a VR set that they have these kids play on,
Right.
and they're horror games. That's basically what the VR set was made for, was horror games. So
but does it look as pretty as this?
Well, no, more the horror games are more realistic.
Okay, I'll give you that.
That's more cartoony.
But no, this game is basically like where you play an invisible ghost giant who has to keep this city running, and you help them. Like there you go, you help them build their stuff
There's
back
a
up
hand.
if something gets damaged. Some
It's
other oddball
cute.
stuff like that. If like I'm guessing if this car guy gets stuck somewhere, then you can.
That cat had little like
Yeah,
binoculars on his head.
It's a very strange game, but as for a VR game, from what I've seen, it's one of the best looking VR
We
games
don't even
ever.
have a VR set.
I know. I don't have a PlayStation either. I'm still talking about PlayStation games.
I know.
Okay, but yeah.
See, yeah, Ghost Giant.
There's a really weird game coming up called Sea of Solitude, where basically you're trapped in a girl's nightmare, and you have to deal with like weird emotions to get everything kind of balanced.
Going the way it's supposed to.
Right. And that game looked kind of neat. It's a very colorful game. I can hear John typing away over there, so he's probably going to bring it up. It's a very colorful game. It's not going to be a lot in fighting as much as it's going to be like a puzzle solver. Like you'll have to figure out how to do certain things to make other things adjust, and puzzle game. But it does look really neat, and it's very trippy. It is very, very trippy. Very, very graphically, like, doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Wait, is that game that I said kind of looks like Rayman? That game
Rayman? No, I don't know what game. You talked about this earlier. I don't know what game you're thinking of.
I don't know
like
either.
Rayman.
I thought it was Ghost Giant, but now it's not Ghost Giant.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Anthem, I guess that should be one that I probably should be talking about, but it's almost gotten to the point where I don't care anymore.
Anthem?
Anthem is like basically the next big Destiny. It's going to be the next big online multiplayer thing that's probably going to fail horribly. It's basically this big jungle you get to fly around in, and you're in something that kind of looks like an Iron Man suit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is
this maybe Anthem? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so. It doesn't look like.
I don't know what this is. John, what is that?
This is Anthem official cinematic trailer 2018.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like everyone's living in a weird village area place, post-apocalyptic, all that kind of stuff. The world itself kind of like nature kind of took back over. And so everyone gets into these big suits that they call javelins and flies through the jungle and basically destroys big monsters. Basically, Iron Man meets Monster Hunter. There you go. There's the javelins. You're flying through crazy jungle stuff. I don't know if there's going to be other people for you to fight or if it's just basically taking out big monsters. There's a oddball loot system that kind of reminds me of Destiny, but I'm not
just say it. It's Destiny.
It could be. It's a very good possibility, but it's going to be more open world, hopefully, than what Destiny was. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping, but at the same time, like I'm going to have to see a lot of good reviews before I put any money in this game. But it's kind of neat how you can kind of customize your Iron Man suit, your javelin, whatever you want to call it, and you got extra guns you can use besides what's mounted on your suit.
I'm looking at the chat right now, and it says only one person is watching, and that's me.
Okay, that's how it'll work. Well, we'll still be able to repost it when we're done.
I know.
But yeah, after Anthem, I got one more game. One more game, and I think I'm done. One more game.
Okay.
Dying Light 2.
What?
Dying Light 2 is a zombie game.
Of course it is.
And it was a very popular single-player game in the beginning. The funny part about Dying Light 2 is that in the trailer... Actually, there's another game I could talk about that did the same thing. In the trailer of the zombie game, they didn't show any zombies. Mm-hmm. They showed people surviving after the zombie apocalypse and how, you can trust some people and you really can't trust other people, your basic zombie storyline.
Basically real life? There's some people you can trust and some people you can't trust in real life.
There you go. And so they showed him fighting other survivors who were, obviously bad, obviously weren't going to be compassionate to anyone, just take what they needed for themselves. But it's kind of weird that like you show us a zombie game that didn't actually have any zombies in it. The cool idea about this game is that like it's going to be another one of those choices affect your gameplay. Mm-hmm. So like if you take down an area and you decide you want to burn it to the ground.
It looks like they try to put graffiti up but then they just decide to paint the whole building at some parts. Maybe.
But yeah, it'll show like your decisions will affect the map to the point where it'll literally change the landscape of the game, which is kind of neat. But it's also kind of the way other games are going, like Fallout 76 and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a cool idea, but it's also kind of a trend at this point where you need things that will affect the whole game in order to feel immersed. Like here it is. A shot of the landscape.
They have bodies hanging from like cranes and stuff.
Yeah, your choices. See how it looks all nice. Your world, now it's all on fire. So your choices will affect the world around you. It's the same thing with that. Just Cause 4 is coming up. It's another game that's going to be like that. It's got weather effects with tornadoes and blizzards, and once a tornado rips through, it will be, it will affect your landscape. Another game I want to talk about real quick that is a zombie game that didn't show any zombies was Last of Us 2. Last of Us was a huge game for PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Big infected zombie game. When they showed the trailer for Last of Us 2, they didn't show any actual zombies or monsters or infected or whatever it is you want to call them. They just showed her going after a squad of people who were obviously bad and would steal things from the good guys. And, I mean, it made sense and everything, but where's your monsters? Where's the thing that made your game famous in the first place? But, I don't know. It's just it's a weird thing.
Okay.
What do you got?
Your little post on top of the Just Cuz.
Just cause. Just cause.
Just cause. I
Just
said
cause. Just cause, baby.
Stop.
Anyway.
You're making fun of me now. It's not nice.
Oh. Anyway, what were you about to say? Just because they brought in a tornado?
No, watch it. Like, read the thing.
Yeah.
Read what you said.
I said, well, damn, just when I thought that just when I thought, what can they do differently, they bring in a tornado.
Yeah, you were excited.
I was excited, and it does look like a really good game.
It does. We watched Jacksepticeye play it earlier, and it was like, Dad was really excited for the weather, and when they brought the tornado, Jacksepticeye just started chasing it.
Yeah, he just chased the tornado. There was a literal 747 airplane swirling around inside of it. It was really neat.
You can stick balloons to things now and make them float. That was the best part, because he kept on sticking balloons to these rockets that could explode. And they would get like really high and they would like explode and it would be like really pretty.
Because in the original games, they had your boosters, which you could slap on things and you'd set them off and it would send stuff flying. Well, now they've basically attached weather balloons to these boosters, so now you can do even more crazy stuff.
But it's like really cool though.
Just cause
like the way we're explaining it makes it sound like so boring, but it looks
was
really
neat.
Cool.
Just Cause falls in that category of game where like it's like the Wolfenstein series. It doesn't get a whole lot of attention. You don't think that it's actually selling well. You don't think it's that popular, but somehow they just keep making making sequels for it because obviously somebody's getting them. Somebody is playing them. Nobody ever talks about them, but they're obviously popular enough to where they get trailers or they get sequels. Sorry. So I mean, it's great. I mean, we need more games out there. I remember somebody talked about the fact that like if you look at the lineup of games for PS2, thousands and thousands of games were released for like PlayStation 2. Now we're in the new generation of games where instead of thousands of games are being released,
it's hundreds.
It's in the hundreds. And it's all basically the same 30 or 40 franchises just
really
getting remade
cares
over and over
about
again.
PlayStation anymore. It's all about Xbox now.
No,
Or
I'm
is it
talking about the
Nintendo?
whole the whole generation, not just PlayStation. I'm talking about the whole thing. Like where we used to have many, many different types of games, different franchises would start and fail back in the early PlayStation 2 days. Now all that's kind of fallen to the wayside. Nobody really cashes in on or tries to cash in on something new. They just keep making sequels and sequels. And even if the franchise itself isn't popular, it's obviously just popular enough to where they'd rather make a sequel to that game than try something new. Metro Exodus, that first-person shooter, another first-person shooter apocalypse game.
I like how you're looking at me like I'll know what
I showed it to you earlier. Anyway.
You did?
Yes. That's another game where it's on its like fourth or fifth game, and I've never heard anyone say that they've played any of the Metro games ever.
Half these games you're talking about, like right now, I don't even know what they are.
I know. You're kind of new to all this stuff, but I'm teaching you. It's fine.
I had a laptop before I had a phone.
Yeah.
And now I get notifications. Don't hit your mic. Now I get like notifications on like every single new thing that comes out, but I don't know what it is.
Right.
I even get notifications on stuff that I don't even know about, like games that I've never seen, people that I don't even pay attention to.
That's what trailers are for. That's how all this stuff is.
I just I don't know anything.
Okay, to finish up, I know I said I was going to finish up before. Now I'm finishing up. There was two big games that didn't make it to E3 that everyone was expecting to make to E3. One of them was Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption 2 had nothing at E3, but that's because they just pumped a trailer out like 2 weeks before E3. So, I mean, maybe they figured they did what they needed to do and they didn't need to go. No talk about any Final Fantasy games except for Kingdom Hearts, which isn't technically a Final Fantasy game, but it's still in that kind of category. It's getting released on Xbox, which is a big deal because the other ones were PlayStation exclusives. And the fact that Kingdom Hearts 3 is finally coming out after 6 years of being in development or something stupid like that. But the other big one no Borderlands 3. They've been talking about Borderlands 3. They've been hinting to it. Everybody loved Borderlands 1 and 2. That company went off and made Battleborn. And yeah, they went off and made Battleborn instead of making Borderlands 3. And Battleborn kind of flopped. So that company really needs...
I feel like Overwatch kind of flopped more than...
No. Overwatch killed Battleborn.
It did?
Yes. Overwatch killed Battleborn.
Because
Overwatch is huge. Battleborn failed because it got released when a lot of other hero shooters got released. And now, if you noticed, the hero shooter thing came and died.
If you try to play Battleborn today, no one's on it anymore.
Yeah, you have to wait in the lobby for like 5 minutes to get in the game. It's ridiculous.
You have to wait in there for longer than 5 minutes.
But if you notice now, like Overwatch, Battleborn, Paladins, all those games that were coming out that everyone was just jumping on the train of the hero shooter, it was probably the quickest video game trend to die in a long time. A lot of them, the online survival games, the battle royale games, most of them last pretty long. But the hero shooter died out really quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, no Borderlands 3 at E3. It was kind of surprising. Everyone thought that somebody would say something about it. And so that means that game isn't nowhere close to being done. And it's kind of sad because I was kind of really waiting for that game. But I think that is our hour. So is there anything else you want to say?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Your hour.
Our hour.
More like hour 24 minutes.
Is that how long we've been going?
Yes.
Okay, well, yeah, then it's time to quit. So
It's 8:10 right now.
we're going to have more videos coming up on our channel. We're going to start playing some new games. I got a couple things sitting there that I need to get played.
Dad has games sitting there that he wants me to play by myself. I'm gonna fail so hard at a lot of these games.
It'll still be good to watch. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good internet stuff.
Comment down below, even though you didn't comment in the comment section at all.
Well, that's okay.
No one was watching this. We're just talking to
That's
ourselves.
all right. It still goes on YouTube like a regular video. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.
Peace.